And next up at UFC Seattle, we've got Navajo Stirling taking on Bruno Lopes. Carlos, who you got in this matchup?
I'm going with Navajo Sterling in this one. Lopez, he can take a shot. How many? It'll remain to be seen against Navajo Sterling. But Sterling also doesn't throw big power on every shot either. He throws heavy shots because he's a big guy. He's got broad shoulders, big arms. He throws heavy, but he doesn't throw with authority. He doesn't throw to try to end it in one shot. So it leaves Lopez open to come in and reverse the fight in his favor. But I just think that Sterling, he does a good job keeping everything at distance. He has very good takedown defense. Lopez is going to be looking for those takedowns. I just think the fact that he's that tall, that long, he puts those hooks in, he keeps you from taking him down. He spreads his base nicely, so it's very hard to get your hands together. I just feel that standing, he's going to have a lot of success. I just feel he's going to have a lot of time fighting takedowns off the cage, and it could make for a boring fight. But I'm going to go with Navajo to get it done. I think it gets done by decision. Lopez, he could take a shot. Question is how many clean shots is he going to eat from Sterling? But I don't think he's going to be able to get this done. And even if he gets it down to the ground, Sterling, I've seen him get back up once he hits the mat. But I don't think Bruno has the ability to keep him there, stay on top, cause any bit of damage. Sterling to get it done. I think it's going to be a decision. I think it might be a little boring. I'm hoping Sterling's thinking, I got to make a name for myself in this weight class, because if he can get a big finish against Bruno Lopez, that'll obviously bring him up to the top and, make people start to be impressed by him. As of right now, I think he has the skill. I just don't think he has any sense of urgency.
Yeah, it's a nice segue here for me to kind of talk about Navajo Stirling as my pick too. I think that Navajo Stirling's got to be looking at performances, and he's obviously, had multiple decisions now, and to no fault of his own, they say, obviously touch, you don't want to be loading up on shots, and I think he does a good job of having good measured forward pressure, good takedown defense. Obviously, City Kickboxing known for having good technical kickboxers that have good takedown defense in the UFC. And I think Bruno Lopes is a nice addition to the UFC here at 205. I think he struggles to get fights to the ground. You will see him back people up and kind of get him in the clinch up against the fence. But I think realistically, Sterling here is going to look at Lopez's previous fight against Dustin Jacoby, where Dustin Jacoby, former glory kickboxer, is going to look, he was able to win with a KO left hook against Lopez, and he's going to be looking, hey, I need to be able to get a finish myself, so I need to follow in those same footsteps. So I hope that Sterling doesn't come in here and kind of get overzealous here and get caught. That's my one concern here for Navajo Stirling. I think he needs to rinse and repeat the same performances he's been doing in his previous fights against Bilardo, for example. Measured forward pressure, get his opponent backed up. Lopez is a little bit plodding. I think he can rip to the body, teeps to the middle as well, the midsection, light the legs up as well with that calf kick, and ultimately just play this one out at range and not really be overzealous and just let that knockout come. I think Lopez is going to be hittable. He's going to want to get into the clinch. Sterling's going to be able to dig for underhooks, reverse position, get out at space. And I think realistically, this should be Navajo Sterling's night. And if he finds the finish, great. If it does go to a decision, I'm fine with that. I know the UFC wants finishes. I know he wants performance of the night bonuses. My concern here is that he gets overzealous and caught, because Lopez does have power. He does carry a lot of power in those hands. And I do think that if he does stay in the pocket for too long, Lopez might be able to counter him. He might be able to land a big bomb. But ultimately, I think Sterling here pokes, prods out at range, good forward pressure, and kind of just wears down Lopez as the fight goes on. I think he wins a unanimous decision here with his kickboxing, and I think we can see, Lopez get into the clinch, as Carlos mentioned, look for takedowns, but I think Sterling's takedown defense will hold up, and he'll ultimately win a decision here with his kickboxing.